Today on Softeller Tech Briefs, we're looking at resource augmentation, what it means, why IT companies adopt it, and how the process works from defining staffing needs through ongoing support. Foundational resources such as capital and physical infrastructure are indispensable to the establishment of any viable business venture. However, human resources are the bedrock on which any lasting enterprise is built. Organizations go to great lengths to ensure these human resources are of the highest caliber because, without competent individuals to innovate and contribute to critical aspects of business management and development, the business venture could crumble before it reaches sustainable growth levels. In the IT industry, a reliable approach that tech firms often use to find competent personnel is through resource augmentation. But exactly what is resource augmentation, and why are IT companies in the 21st century gravitating more towards this employment model? Today, we'll provide answers by highlighting the benefits and steps of the resource augmentation process. What is resource augmentation? Resource augmentation, also known as staff augmentation, is a business strategy adopted by IT organizations to augment workforce capabilities on a temporary basis. Tech companies use this employment approach to add qualified tech talent to their staff roster for the entire duration of a specific project or for periods when workloads increase significantly. These newly employed personnel are only paid for their contribution to the project, and their involvement with it expires upon the project's completion. The human resource and resource augmentation meaning is incomplete without mentioning staff augmentation companies and the significant roles they play. Resource augmentation solutions are typically provided by staff augmentation companies, which provide flexible staffing by assuming the duties that come with employee recruitment, such as conducting interviews, hiring and training employees, organizing performance reviews, and dispersing employee compensation. Reasons why companies are turning to resource augmentation. Resource augmentation presents a number of opportunities for IT firms adopting the strategy. Chief among these is perhaps the opportunity it provides for scalable employment at a cost-efficient margin. Yet, there are a host of other reasons why today's tech companies find the resource augmentation model attractive. Global talent access. Sometimes the caliber of expertise needed by an IT team for a development project may be inaccessible or difficult to source locally. Resource augmentation provides an avenue through which this expertise may be sourced internationally. Using nearshore or offshore contacts, a resource augmentation provider can help development firms find highly skilled software professionals from across the globe, contracting them to work in a temporary capacity until project objectives are actualized. For instance, companies looking to add specialized programming capabilities can partner with augmentation providers who tap into global networks of skilled developers. Supporting business expansion. Resource augmentation offers businesses looking to expand their reach in unfamiliar regions a strategic advantage. When an organization wants to establish a presence in newer markets, it can gain valuable insights into the local market dynamics by hiring local talent from that region on a temporary basis. By doing so, the employer can leverage localized knowledge without having to establish a permanent workforce in the region. Simplified project management. In a traditional software development setting, project managers are tasked with initiating innovative ideas while at the same time juggling multiple administrative and managerial activities. This convergence of roles can often limit project visibility, taking away critical attention from project aspects that demand attention to detail. The resource augmentation framework simplifies this project management process by compartmentalizing the roles of management teams, in-house developers, and augmented staff. The augmentation provider takes on the responsibility of administering and managing augmented teams, leaving internal managers to concentrate on the daily operational functions of the project. Scalable project execution. Development teams seldom require the same number of active personnel working on a project at all times. In an effort to maximize costs and operational efficiency, organizations often require a flexible hiring model that can accommodate employees working on projects temporarily. A flexible approach such as resource augmentation allows businesses to scale their workforce efficiently and cost-effectively throughout the project lifecycle. Benefits of resource augmentation. Improved operational efficiency. As opposed to other methods of employment, the resource augmentation model allows businesses to utilize their financial and infrastructural assets prudently. Because the augmented resources that are provided by augmentation vendors are typically well-trained in the latest cutting-edge technologies and agile methodologies, they can begin operating from the get-go without the client company having to spend expenses on training them. Also, when the project gets to a stage where extra manpower is needed, the development firm can easily contact the team augmentation company for more technical personnel without halting the flow of regular project operations. Reduced development costs. By using an augmented resource provider, businesses can significantly reduce the overhead costs associated with traditional permanent hiring methods. With a resource augmentation contract in place, an IT resources firm can forego recurring expenditures like salaries and employee benefits, as this will be covered in the service level contract. If the augmented resources work remotely, the client company can save even more on workspaces and computer hardware since the augmented staff will be working from home and with their own devices. Limited legal issues. Traditional methods of hiring staff are fraught with considerable legal and regulatory procedures that impede the agile responsiveness required in software development environments. The talent resource augmentation approach limits these time-consuming proceedings by delegating administrative legalities like staff contracts and tax deductions to the augmentation provider, while the client company focuses on other essential management operations. New and innovative perspectives. When a team of talented developers works together for prolonged periods, the development company risks stagnation of ideas due to isolation. The augmentation framework resolves this problem by introducing external talent from diverse work backgrounds who can provide fresh, out-of-the-box insights that spark innovation and creativity within the team. Filling specific skill gaps. Some projects may require software professionals who are versed in niche development skills to contribute in a temporary capacity. This situation may arise when in-house personnel with the specialized skills are unavailable due to illness or because the company is short-staffed in these areas. Resource augmentation service firms provide these in-demand professionals in record time and at a much more flexible rate than permanent hiring. Steps of resource augmentation. To get top-notch human resource and resource augmentation services, an IT development company has to implement deliberate steps in harmony with the augmentation provider. These steps may vary slightly from company to company, but they generally entail the following. Define your staffing requirements. During the initiation phase of a resource augmentation endeavor, it is customary for an augmentation provider to engage in consultations with the team leaders in order to assess the project's scope and pinpoint specific areas that require additional human resources. Due to the fact that each development project has distinct infrastructure and personnel needs, a staffing partner must first comprehend the project's complete scope and objectives before they can assist in locating qualified software professionals. With this knowledge, the service provider and prospective technical talent will have a clear understanding of the project's objectives and the significant milestones that need to be reached. Select candidates who satisfy your standards. During this second phase, the augmentation provider conducts candidate screenings and interviews in an effort to identify the most qualified individuals for the current project. They utilize their vast international talent pool in the technology sector to identify and assess candidates who meet the requirements of the in-house development team in terms of credentials and experience. Following a comprehensive evaluation procedure that includes in-depth interviews, portfolio reviews, skill assessments, and background checks, the resource provider proposes the most suitable candidates for further consideration. Once the client's requirements are met by the recommended professionals, the augmentation provider will advance to the subsequent stage. Clearly establish roles and work processes of augmented staff. It is imperative to establish unambiguous roles and expected work processes for augmented resources in order to ensure the success of any IT resource augmentation strategy. Once the client organization is content with the suggested personnel and is confident that they can contribute to the achievement of their project goals, the staffing agency proceeds with the integration and onboarding process. These integration and onboarding procedures facilitate the acclimation of newly hired personnel to unfamiliar working conditions and the project workflows of the employing organization. In this stage, it is the responsibility of the staff augmentation services provider to ensure that the augmented employees acquire a comprehensive understanding of the client's procedures, enabling them to promptly contribute to the project. Provide sustained support and management. After onboarding the augmented staff, the resource augmentation firm goes a step further by furnishing the augmented teams with ongoing support. They maintain open communication channels with augmented personnel throughout the project's lifecycle, so they can provide assistance when required. Closing takeaway. Resource augmentation is an essential strategy that IT businesses with skill gaps or limited project capabilities can implement to procure skilled professionals without the cost associated with hiring full-time staff. Although augmentation is the de facto means of employment used by IT firms on short-term projects, businesses can adopt this strategy for multiple reasons, ranging from simplified management to geographic expansion and ease of scalability. The benefits of adopting a resource augmentation approach are multifaceted, but executing it to perfection demands insightfulness in identifying staffing needs, selecting candidates, and establishing work processes. If you'd like to learn more about software development, AI, cloud, data engineering, and digital transformation, visit us at softeller.com.